Well, boys, here we go. Game 3. State versus state, mate versus mate. Oh, I can't wait for Wednesday night, boys. I'm joined by Clancy, Wobbling Jaw, Mick, and Hainsey. How are we, legends?
Good, thanks, Jaw. Great to be here.
Yeah, very good, very good. Thanks for having me.
Howdy. Very
We've
excited.
got two special guests still.
Yeah, two special guests, Hainsey and Wobbling Jaw. Quickly just touch on Hainsey, mate, your Roosters. Geez, they're flying at the moment.
We're doing good, mate. We're doing good. Obviously, a lot better than I think a lot would have anticipated the way that we've been the last couple of years. But no, it's good that it's starting to click together. Sitting nicely. Big game, obviously, this weekend. So
yeah, against the Storm.
Yeah, I'll be there. It'll be it's gonna be big.
What are you thinking?
That's for sure.
You back them? You backing the boys?
I think it's going to be a massive statement this weekend from us. I really feel it.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Chooks
surely they're
myself.
favourites at the moment.
Roosters are $1.85 to Storm $2. To be honest though, Storm $2 at home is pretty good value. So
man, I'm jumping on that with respect.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. You'd be stupid not to.
Yeah. What about yourself, Sammy?
Hey,
Cowboys, mate.
Hanging on for dear life, mate. It's like hanging on to the back of a roller coaster, then going upside down. Just don't know. But no, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm keen to talk about it. Talk about this Wednesday night, and thank you again for having me.
No problems at all. We were just talking about odds, obviously, of the Roosters Storm game, boys. Look, I'm a Queenslander myself, but Queensland are $1.80 favourites, obviously playing at the Cauldron, and New South Wales are $2 there. Look, with the team list named, what are our thoughts there on the odds there from Sportsbet?
I think it's pretty fair to be honest.
They'll.
Well, I think New South Wales would be strong favourites if it was in Sydney and Melbourne, but because it's the Suncorp factor, I think it's pretty much the way I'd see it. I reckon New South Wales might shorten come Wednesday night, but I think $1.85 to $2. It seems about right. Queensland home ground advantage. Our record ain't great, so I can see why the bookies have slightly headed towards Maroons here.
What are the odds 2022? Were we favourites?
I think New South Wales were favourites. That's because I think it was because of the side we had. I think it was more the fact we just come off a great
Munster
in the side and all that kind of stuff. But I think we were just slightly ahead in 2022.
2022, they had a massive Game 2 win as well, which is similar to what's going on now.
Yeah.
It feels weird New South Wales actually having a competent coach.
We had a good coach until 2021. But that 2020 series ended, my Freddie, and sad. We got to bounce back in 2021, but he hasn't been the same.
Teddy doesn't get knocked out, you win.
In 2020, yeah, that 100%. And everyone will talk about how the side of Queensland back in 2020, but no one really talks about that game. Like, I think the fact that we had to have Gutherson, we had Clint Gutherson playing fullback. No disrespect to Gutho, but Gutho, Zay Jonas centers, we were always cooked in 2020. But it's in the past now.
Clancy and Sam, you got any thoughts on the odds? Think it's pretty fair, like Hainsey's saying, or?
I think come Wednesday night it'll be about $1.90 each way, which I think is about right.
Yeah, I think that's it that way.
Yep, that's exactly right. Exactly right.
All right, boys. Obviously, Game 2 was a whitewash. Obviously, the Blues dominated the Maroons. Obviously, that first half, what was it? The largest scoring or highest scoring margin in Origin history. Yeah. So, look, obviously, I thought that we obviously don't. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting a bit sick and tired of New South Wales people losing Game 1, then complaining about Klein in Game 2 and giving them whatever they want, respectfully.
It's still every time. It's ironic though. Queensland did win the penalty count in Game 2.
Yeah,
but that was second half ones. Him trying.
We all know what they do.
Won the penalty count. Won the penalty count. Oh dear, oh dear.
Trying to look less biased by giving us freebies.
Oh.
6 agains. What about 6 agains?
Like when we're down 30, when it doesn't actually matter.
Any rub of the green come Wednesday night. I can tell that from experience.
Yeah, it's going to be it's obviously a full house. It's going to be absolutely electric atmosphere. Let's go into the teams, boys. We'll obviously I'll go through both of them. I think it's probably best we go through both of them, and then we can touch on what we think of the changes and whatnot. So obviously, the Maroons made a few changes, some due to injury and some due to obviously Billy wielding the axe. We got Walsh at fullback. Cobbo comes in on the wing and Gagai in the centres. We will touch on that because I have heard potential mail that it could go Gagai onto the wing and Val into the centres, but I think it should stay that way. Anyway, we'll discuss that a bit later. Hammer's also the other centre. Holmes on the wing. We've got Dearden and DCE in the halves. Cotter, Hunt, and Collins. Kurt Capewell and Jeremiah Nanai in the back row, and then Patrick Carrigan at lock. The bench is Harry Grant, Fodawaker, Kafusi, and Kalen Ponga. Obviously, Trent Liero comes, or is 18th man
What a squad
for the Maroons. Then we will go on to the Blues. Obviously, Dylan Edwards, only a few changes here for the Blues, obviously, after that big statement win in Game 2. To'o and Lomax on the wings. Best comes in the centres for the injured Latrell. Stephen Crichton is the other centre. Luai and Moses in the halves. Turbo and Payne Haas as the props. Robson at hooker. We've got Liam Martin and Angus Crichton in the back row. Cam Murray at lock. Connor Watson, Isaiah Yeo, and Mitchell Barnett comes in. And Hainsey's man, Spencer Lenu on the bench. And obviously, Matty Burton is the 18th man. What are we thinking, boys? What are your thoughts, Hainsey? Let's touch on you first. What are your thoughts on the Blues and obviously Bradman Best coming in at the centres and Olakau'atu obviously dropping out for Barnett?
Yeah, look, I really like both inclusions there. Obviously, Latrell, I think everyone who knows who I am documents how much I dislike Latrell in a red and green jumper. But when he's in, that completely changes. Like, he's representing my state of origin, so I'll support him like he's any other player. But it's a big blow having him missing out. But in saying that, though, Bradman Best probably the best replacement. Obviously, he's been such a threat on the in the centres for Newcastle. He's been killing it for Newcastle. Obviously, we saw in Game 3 last year, what in his Origin debut, how good he can be in the Origin arena. So I think obviously injury cloud, but tick of approval from the medical staff. So he'll line up for the Blues unless anything dramatic happens between now and Wednesday. So I think it's probably the best replacement there for Latrell. In terms of Mitch Barnett, I really like it. I agree with a lot of people have been saying that even though it's a great decision, I still feel sorry for Olakau'atu. He hasn't done anything wrong to miss his spot. No. I think that New South Wales have gone for a better approach with Mitch Barnett. He can cover more positions, and play a bit more in the middle, where Olakau'atu is more of a specialist back rower, but especially with forward momentum is massive in Origin. Having a guy like Mitch Barnett and Spencer on at the same time as that forwards rotation with Isaiah, I think it will go a long way to winning the game. I really, really like the inclusion of Mitch Barnett. I do feel sorry again for Olakau'atu. I think he has been really hard done by. It's been a really tough situation for him to be included into the Origin. Obviously, the two times
from a Queensland perspective, I'd be more scared of Olakau'atu starting than Liam Martin. Is that a hot take or?
I mean, like Liam Martin's probably been one of our best players. It's hard though for Majdo because I don't think Majdo expected both Liam Martin and Angus Crichton to dominate like they've had in this Origin series as back rowers. But yeah,
I think Barnett should have been picked from Game 1. He's been that good this year.
I think so too. And look, it's
Where's that video?
And I think in Origin game 1, if you actually look at the stats, in my opinion, Olakau'atu dominated Liam Martin, and I would much rather see Liam Martin be up against us Queenslanders than Olakau'atu on the edge.
How valuable is a massive hit in Origin?
They're overrated.
Obviously, it's crucial, but I feel like he's missed a lot of easy ones as well. So
his work rate is way lower than Olakau'atu's. In the
I feel like
first
he doesn't
game,
carry that much as
Olakau'atu
well.
off the bench. Doesn't take too many runs. Doesn't make a massive amount of tackles. He can put on a big hit every now and again. I'd much rather someone with the output of Olakau'atu.
And it's been tough for Olakau'atu as well. Like when he's come on, they've been obviously game 1 to send off, game 2 up 34-0, somewhere around about that point, and then there was a sin bin, double sin bidding. So it's been tough for him to get included into the game, but I think it suits the playing style more having Mitch Barnett than Olakau'atu, in my opinion.
Yeah. Way
What do you think, Sammy?
On Mitch Barnett and Olakau'atu, Mitch Barnett scares the tripe out of me as a Queensland supporter, especially if it is going to be a dry surface. Spencer Leniu has been amazing since he's come back from his suspension. And then just looking further into the team list there for New South Wales, if you want to move on from the second row. But I do feel sorry for Olakau'atu. Martin, he's had to pick up his form and he has done, so well done to him. So yeah, I agree that I feel sorry for Olakau'atu, but my main gripe with New South Wales, and I think you're about to touch on it, is in that certain centre position.
Yeah, no, just quickly on Olakau'atu, I've heard some obviously talks around some people saying that Madge Maguire obviously didn't know how to use him very well. Like, do you think that Madge has? Yeah, he's just dipped off. That's all right, mate. But anyway, on Olakau'atu, I just think that the people are saying that they haven't used Madge hasn't used him well. Like, what do you think of that? Do you think that that's a reason why he's been dropped? That obviously the versatility of Barnett is obviously that it can play in the middle and on the edge, helps out compared to someone like Olakau'atu that can only play on the edge.
My biggest thing is I think Olakau'atu is in the 2 best second rows for New South Wales. I know they won game 2, but they lost game 1 and no changes were made. And like, I don't really see an issue with, if they would pick Liam Martin as well and play him in the middle. I think there's a difference between Olakau'atu in the sense that he's sort of the big player. You know what I mean? Whether they feel like they don't need that, one big play that could change the game, or do they go for a guy that might be able to impact the game off the bench for, a bunch of hit-ups and a bunch of tackles.
Like, they're both in form, both Barnett and Olakau'atu. I just think that that's potentially why. I think the versatility of Barnett and obviously the dominance from New South Wales in game 2 through the middle. Obviously, Martin
Spencer Leniu scares me, dude.
Obviously Crichton and Martin can play big minutes. So I think that's why he's been dropped. I reckon that's why Barnett's come in, for his versatility and just the fact that how well that Crichton and Martin have been playing, that he just hasn't been able to find a role for Olakau'atu.
I feel like it's going to be won through bench use. I know we were losing by a mile in game 2, but I don't think Billy had a plan and how to use that bench compared to Madge, who obviously, especially in game 1 when Spencer Leniu came on, changed the game.
Yeah.
He's been good in both games, Spence, as an impact player.
Yeah. Well, when does Ponga come on?
Hold on. Let's get to the... you go touch quick on ANZ. I was just going to say we could finish up on the Blues and then move to the Maroons, but you could quickly touch on it.
I'd say around about the 30-minute mark, they're going to introduce Ponga, I think.
All right. And let's quickly wrap up on New South Wales here. So obviously the best getting the centre. Look, obviously, as Hainsey touched on, in his thoughts that Best obviously been in great form last year, and obviously this year as well. Killed it in game 3. Has been outstanding for the Knights thus far this year. I think in my opinion, I thoroughly think that Best deserves it. I know Burton's been playing really well for the Dogs and has got some combinations there with some of the ex-Panthers or the Panthers players. But yeah, I think that they've made the right decision with Bradman Best, in my opinion.
He was great game 3 last year.
Hainsey's so disgusted that he's just ducked off.
That's all right. He's coming back.
I think Bradman Best is a obvious selection in my opinion. Wasn't available game 1, I don't think. And
he's like Liam Martin, but with the work rate.
Sorry, guys. I've had some technical difficulties.
You're right, Hainsey. You're right. You sort yourself out. We'll keep on going. You continue,
was the laptop charger, Hainsey? I was just going to say, I feel like Best has that origin quality where he's going to take those hard hits, but he's also got like the talent and the work rate where someone like we were talking about Liam Martin, I feel like gets overrated through his big hits where he's not actually working that hard. Any take on that, Hainsey, about Liam Martin?
About Liam Martin?
Oh, I'm just saying, I think Best.
Best is a centre. It's up to the heart. It's up to the halves to get him into the game. And I think especially last week when he played, that try that he scored, his footwork and his balance and like just how he can like use his power advantageously
as well.
Yeah, good pass, and just he like is never in a weak position where you feel like you can get to him. So he scares me at centre.
Yeah. Really good attacking quality, Bradman Best, and then you obviously got Stephen Crichton on the other side who shows that defensive presence as well.
Yeah.
Will it be Gagai on?
Gagai will be on the right, I would assume.
I think
right.
Queensland have got that right, having Gagai in the centres and Val Holmes back on the wing. I think that really scares me as a New South Welshman.
Yeah, Sam, you got any thoughts?
Can speak on. Oh yeah, you go.
Yeah, I was just going to get Sam said he had some thoughts on. Best.
I actually do think that Matt Burton should have been in at centre. I get that Bradman Best is that hard-running centre and that Mitch Moses does provide that big boot, but to have Matt Burton there, maybe just floating a little bit more infield as well, would be a little bit more dangerous than just maybe relying solely on Dylan Edwards to float around the back on either side of the ruck. So that's why I would have Matt Burton there as a more of an X factor to link up rather than Bradman Best just being that tank that he is, and just on like positional positions for the centres. Like Stephen Crichton was on the left, I'm pretty sure, in game number 1, and obviously Suoliti got sent off, but then Stephen Crichton was on the right-hand side for game 2. So Hainsey, more primed for you, but for everyone, is Stephen Crichton going to be on that right edge for New South Wales in game 3?
I think he's going to mark Hammer. I think
he's definitely on the right.
Yeah, I think
he moves over to the left when Suwali got binned as a last-ditch attempt to try to fix up some defensive issues over there. And then obviously he gets replaced with Latrell, who is a lefty, and so is Bradman Best. So I'd be very surprised if he plays on the left.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's pretty much.
I think that's pretty good on New South Wales, giving it a good run through, talked about our thoughts. Obviously a very strong side. Let's move on to the Queenslanders, gents. Obviously a few changes. Cobbo comes back after missing obviously game 2. Gagai, as we've all touched on, is in the centres. Kurt Capewell comes off the bench to now be starting. Sewer he was basically being dropped.
He's been robbed.
And then Ponga comes in on the interchange, boys. What are our thoughts there? Let's quickly just touch on the back line here with the shifts. Obviously, Val moving out to the wing, Gagai in the centres, and Cobbo coming onto the wing.
Backline's perfect, in my opinion. Not a gripe with that.
Yeah,
especially defensively. I think Val on the wing is playing. He's been defending pretty poorly this year.
Yeah, I think Gagai and I think, like I said, Gagai in the centres, Val Holmes on the other side. It's gonna.
You could argue Gagai's club form has been as good as it's ever been. So
Yes.
I don't have any problems with. I don't think Gagai is going to have any issues.
And we all know. I think you guys would know better than anyone how good Gagai can be in an Origin jersey. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like he'll know it's maybe his last game ever. So
yeah,
he'll be up for it.
Also, I wouldn't mind him getting in a bit of a biff as well. Maybe got Spencer Leniu. Do something, you know what I mean?
Liam Martin. Actually, Liam Martin being on the field helps Queensland.
Yeah.
Right, is that right? Right, I'm pretty sure Liam Martin, you know, gets under the skin of Queensland. That's what we like it.
When has a New South Welshman getting under the skin of a Queenslander ever worked? Respectfully,
it worked. Game 2.
We always lose game 2.
Mate, the only people getting under.
It also worked. It also worked, mate. Like honestly, Michael Maguire has Billy Slater rattled. He has
the glass houses
and stuff. He has really got Billy Slater rattled.
Oh,
he had him rattled game 2.
I feel like
it has been good for the contest.
The only thing that could counter a Liam Martin for Queensland would be a David Fafita, but you guys don't decide to pick him. So,
we were getting
nothing counters Liam Martin. He New South Wales picking Liam Martin counters Liam Martin.
You got Liam Martin, then you've got Big Gussie, Angus Crichton. That's what the one you got.
Fafita didn't have a good preseason.
Yeah, but he's had a pretty decent 19 weeks, hasn't he?
Yeah, not wrong.
I agree.
What are your thoughts, Sammy? Obviously, you go, Hazy. Sorry.
Hang on. I wouldn't have watched the game.
I've got a theory why Dave Fafita's not being picked for Queensland. So obviously, you know, he backflipped on the Roosters.
Don't bring up the Roosters bullshit.
Funny enough, Uncle Nick Politis OAM is a Queensland fan.
Oh my god! This is a horrible take.
I have heard that take.
Uncle Nick.
I have heard that take about Politis and also Cronk maybe being in Billy's ear, saying that
influence. I don't think.
Well, what has he got photos or something? Honestly, like
what's he got on Fafita?
I don't know.
If he had photos, wouldn't he get picked?
Honestly, seeing Capewell, no disrespect to Capewell and Nanai, that I see Capewell and Nanai as your back rollers. If it would have been Fafita and Nanai, I would have been like, okay.
Can I just say this?
Last year was a game breaker for us.
With this second row up pairing, I genuinely think, I was thinking about this today, I think Capewell could be in for an elite game. Just based on the way New South Wales targeted us defensively last game.
He has up and out. He has the potential to do it. Like we all know, like Capewell steps up for the occasion every time, but definitely something has to be talked about though.
But Queensland will adjust to how Maguire defended last game. It didn't work for them in game 1, but and I think New South Wales made their adjustments into game 2. Like you saw specifically with Walsh and Deard, and when they were getting the ball at the back, they weren't coming up as hard as they were game 1, but they were coming up really well, sort of like an umbrella defense where Walsh and Deard and were getting jammed. And I wouldn't be surprised if they keep that and someone like Capewell and Nanai scores a try or two. And I think we can, so long as we go a bit shorter early, I think we might be able to break that defensive pattern.
Yeah. I just was quickly on Capewell and Nanai. Obviously, we've talked about Fafita, but just both of those gentlemen in their last game for their club side, I thought had their best games of the season. I thought Kurt Capewell was outstanding for the Warriors in that extra time game against the Bulldogs. Obviously, I think he was out on the wing at some stage, but he was really good. And obviously, Nanai, I thought, was very good for the Cowboys in their obviously close loss against the Sea Eagles. So, like, I think that's a good thing, but still, I definitely have Fafita somewhere in my side.
I think both back rows are getting underrated by Queensland fans. I guess they're holding it to them to the same standards as Fafita, but like I'm very confident, especially Capel will have a good game.
I think also it doesn't make sense to me that when you drop Sewer as well, you still don't pick Fafita. Like
we picked Ponga.
You pick Ponga.
Yeah.
Like,
and
we all know
Sewer got hard done by.
Like, Kalen Ponga's a freak, right? Don't get me wrong, but like, is there a little bit of a question there that he's played one game since round 7?
No. If we didn't pick him, it would have been delusional.
We picked Ponga. He debuted in a game 3, didn't he? And
exactly
was
right.
just elite off the bench as a young kid.
Yeah, exactly right. I remember that game clear as day when he made that break late in the game, and when he nearly scored in the corner. I do remember that clear as day. But yeah, like he's a freak, Ponga, and it does scare me having Ponga and Walsh at the same on the field at the same time come Wednesday. But like, is it a little bit of worry that
I feel like we need?
I like him trembling, Hainsey. I can hear in Hainsey's voice that he's trembling at the thought of Ponga.
Mate, Ponga hasn't heard.
Trying to jinx it. It's not going to work, Hainsey.
Mate, Spencer will kill him.
Spencer doesn't have the agility to get out that far, that wide on the edge, mate.
On Ponga, boys, I think that I honestly think it. Obviously, like Hainsey was saying, he reckons he'll come on after 30 minutes. I think it's going to be crucial to like see how Billy Slater uses him, and can obviously determine the result of the game with if he uses Ponga well. Me personally, I can just see from like what he did on the couple of weekends ago, should I say, against the Raiders. Like he literally broke Xavier Savage's ankles, like he basically snapped in half, and then like he's just basically. I just think he's got to come on against tired forwards. I think that his footwork, his lateral movement, there's no one else respectfully in the game than maybe Prime RTS back in the day that can step as well as Ponga can. And I just think against tired New South Wales forwards can just carve them up through the middle.
Is he going to be used like he was when he debuted?
I think that
I want to ask who he's going to come on for. Is Pat Carrigan just going to put in the most intense 30 minutes of his life? And then Kalen Ponga is going to come on for the next half an hour? I don't know who he's going to be coming on for, man.
You need.
I think we've got to use our props better. Like Cotter.
I reckon I'd put him in the middle, obviously, but I think it'll be time in the game where Lindsay will need a rest.
Yeah.
Mo Fonawaker come on, play in the middle. I reckon Carrigan will come on, he's locked, but I reckon he'll play big minutes in the front row and then put maybe Ponga as a bit of a lock.
Yeah.
And this is
I think everyone's been talking.
Props like Ruben Cotter. Ruben Cotter's going to play just about every single minute of this game, isn't he? The forwards are going to have so many minutes under the belt.
They need to play. Like they actually
I
need
worry
to play
about
big
Cotter.
minutes. Like you've got obviously
he gets run over a bit.
Your hooker rotation that you guys have done for the last couple of years of having Harry Grant and Ben Hunt, but like and then you have a fullback on the bench, meaning that you're going to have 2 bench players forwards to come on, like so. Like they've got to dig deep this Queensland forward pack. The stuff like I know Lindsay will play big minutes. Ruben Cotter, like you said, Sam will play big minutes as well. Paddy Carrigan will have to play. I reckon Carrigan's in for 80 minutes on Wednesday.
So do you reckon that you can see Capewell or Nene on the bench then, Hainsey? Is that what you're sort of saying, that if you think Pat Carrigan's going to play the 80, you think Cotter's going to play the 80, is either going to come on for Collins, or who would you swap him out for, Nene or Capewell?
I think, I'm probably leading either probably Capewell and then probably Lindsay or Ruben Cotter. Bring Carrigan to play up, and Carrigan can be that enforcer as a front rower. Come on, play and he can play some big minutes, and then have Ponga floating around at 13 as that attacking presence, while you get Lindsay, Cotter, and Carrigan do the tough carries. So it could go a long way.
Mate, it's going to be an absolute delight, especially for the female audience watching Ponga and Walsh on at the same time.
First time.
Yeah. Well, there has been a few photos that photo has gone a bit viral. That one of Ponga and Walsh standing in the middle of Suncorp.
Boys,
Jeez, Ponga looks absolutely jacked. Eh?
Oh, you go, Clance.
I was just going to say Ponga was looking jacked in that photo.
So my concern with the formation of this Queensland side is just like we've sort of touched on it, is just the bench. Obviously in game 2, I'm pretty sure like Kafusi only played something like 15 minutes or something, or like 10, 15 minutes. And then I think Capewell, he was on the bench as well. He barely played as well. I think we've got to utilize those people on the bench more. We can't be playing, no disrespect to the likes of Cotter and Carrigan and Collins, but they need to have a break at some point.
I agree,
and I think that you've got to give those guys on the bench a bit of impact. Look at like the Broncos on the weekend. They picked one prop and they basically had no go forward against the Dragons. Basically when Willison went off, like Jensen tried his heart out, but that's my concern, is just how Billy can use that bench. I think it's obviously I prefer the New South Wales bench. I'm not going to lie. I think Ponga is an outstanding addition, but I'm just worried about if Billy Slater can really nail the execution.
I feel
of
like
that
our
bench.
starting pack got absolutely rolled over. Started game 2.
We had no balls
earlier.
And
what?
You go, Clancy. Oh, Sam.
Okay,
one of you.
What's the concern here when, like, game? When you think about it, we've got 2. When you take into account Hunt moving into the middle and playing a forwards role, then Kafusi on the bench. Like, I don't really think there's too much concern, especially considering Capewell and Name are 80-minute players, that we have enough middle forwards to go around to still be able to carry Ponga. It's not like we've picked a big team like New South Wales that might get run off their feet at some point.
Should we read some questions, Dor?
Yeah, we're going to do that in a second. I was just going to see, Sam, what were your thoughts, mate?
I got a very different thought, and something that we haven't touched on yet, and that's the halves battle. So okay. Mitch Moses and Luai, they can create something out of nothing. Moses had the best game of his life just about in game 2, and Luai was really has been really good the past 2 games. DCE really good, has been solid. He's up at Suncorp. As much as I hate to say it as a North Queensland fan, Tom Dearden got absolutely swamped by Mitch Moses. And
it was horrible.
Yeah, Tom Dearden, and this season, while he's good at the running game and he's not too bad with the plays of putting people back under, I just think that's why we've got Reece Walsh at the back, right? Because if Tom Dearden can't create something out of nothing, it's going to be Reece Walsh that will come in and do something out of nothing, but it can't always be Walsh. So, boys, what do you reckon about Tom Dearden this Wednesday, man? Because maybe is Ponga not hook Dearden, but I don't know, man. Ponga wants to come in and do something, man.
Look. I'll give you back to the example of 2022 Game 3. That was Tom Dearden's debut, and he killed it because he had the momentum of the forward pack.
Yeah,
and only a handful of halves in the history of rugby league can pull their team out of the trenches like in Game 2, because New South Wales forward pack will
like a Cam Munster,
maybe Cam Munster, Joey Johns, Thurston. All those guys. Like, it takes a rare halfback to get them out of trouble like that. Moses kicking game just kicked Queensland to death, and then the forward pack were rolling on top of it. So if Queensland get on top of the forward pack, that's when the likes of Walsh, Cherry Evans, and Dearden will get involved in the game. So if they're on the back foot, it's hard for them to get into the game. We saw that in game 2.
A lot of that boiled down to the 6 agains, though. Like, there might have been 4 6. The repeat sets and 6 agains on our line,
Well,
Like it's not easy. It's not easy to defend.
I think Wobblin's right.
5 sets in a
I
row
can
without a
see-
break. But I could definitely see Ponga coming on for Dearden as well. Yeah.
And Ponga coming on for him.
it's a big call to hook at your 5'8" in Origin.
That's it. But it
It is a big
could
call.
happen. It could happen. But like, just to go on even further on that, like I'm just looking through the total kicking meters, and again, New South Wales did dominate, but the kicking meters, Maroons kicked 490. You'd reckon that Daly Jerry Evans kicked about 487 of those 490 kicking meters, man. And then the missed tackles for the Maroons as well was,
it was awful.
54 missed
In the
tackles from
first
the
20
Maroons,
minutes, we
man.
missed so many.
So many, man.
As Hainsey said, we basically just got trampled in that first half. We had no ball. The New South Wales go forward. Yeah, look, respectfully, like, yes, Klein helped, but you've got to say, like, Payne Haas had one of his best first halves.
He needed to.
In
that
Origin.
That was Haas's best game.
Payne Haas actually really needed to step up, and he did. And on his home deck on Wednesday, great opportunity for Payne Haas.
I agree, Hainsey. It just shows when he plays well, that pack is rolling, especially off the back of him.
Yep.
It worries me, actually.
Well, so to combat that, that's why I was really excited about the rumor, and it was just a rumor, that Billy Slater had allegedly called Josh Papali'i from the Canberra Raiders to maybe play in Game 3. That dude, I so wanted that to happen. That would have been perfect to level out the playing field in that regard. But that's, I guess, it's up to Collins and Felice Corfusi, I would say, to try and neutralize Haas in that aspect.
Collins has to step up.
I thought Papali'i would have been perfect, like just a 20-minute stint or whatever, like that. He would have been absolutely perfect. Like I would have started him the first 20 minutes and just let him go hell for leather.
20 minutes of Origin is like 40 minutes of a normal game.
I think we're starting to notice it with the Broncos, and now with Queensland, how much they're missing Flegler this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really missing
Flegler. Big loss as well.
We need to be cautious of Queensland. This is going away from what's worked for us though, which is a mobile forward pack, and just trying to match it with New South Wales to an extent, and then getting them late in the game, which we still got with Cotter, Carrigan, Nanai on the right's really pretty dynamic as well. So I think we just need to remain calm.
All Queensland need is just to be 13 on 12. That's the only hope.
Jeez.
Solitude in the comments suggests Cotter 20 minutes and then putting Ponga straight on. Is that too early?
No, it's too early. I don't like Cotter only getting the first 20.
Hainsey, genuine question. Is there a more disappointing jumper in sport than the New South Wales Blues jumper? Just in terms of, in the last 2 decades?
No, I wouldn't say
popular.
I wouldn't say maybe a West Tigers at the moment.
Yeah. I can accept that.
Andy, actually, question. How come you're a Roosters fan, but then a Heat fan and live in Brisbane?
I love this question. So I was obviously from Sydney. My brother went for the Roosters, so I went on the back of him. His favourite player was Craig Fitzgibbon. Mine was Minicello, obviously. Moved up to Brisbane. And when the BBL started, my favourite cricketer was Matty Hayden. And when the BBL started back in, 2012, 2013, they had like a key marquee signing kind of thing to promote the game. So the Melbourne Stars had Shane Warne. Ricky Ponting was at the Hurricanes. Brett Lee was at the Sixers. And Matty Hayden was at the Brisbane Heat. And it just made more sense because I was up in Brisbane to go watch a Brisbane Heat game instead of supporting a Sydney team when you're never going to be at a game. No, that made sense. Makes sense.
But Hainsey, couldn't you have gone for the Thunder and Mike Hussey and just stuck with the losing mentality teams?
But I don't like Western Sydney though.
Paddy Gillespie.
Why is that?
Doesn't like Western Sydney.
Oh yeah, Paddy Gillespie. He's a Sydney Thunder man.
He is, yeah.
Look, we're getting too much on the BBL. Let's answer some more questions, boys. Solitude obviously saying Ponga man of the match off the bench. Who is the last player to win man of the match off the bench in an Origin game? Has there ever been
Paddy
one?
Carrigan won the man of the series in 2022, and he was off the bench.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I can't think of
He
it.
also did he.
You go.
I'm
Oh,
still
Coach
pissed
Gidley?
Josh Jackson got player of the series in a losing series.
Yeah, like
Oh,
Billy.
yeah. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Billy Slater
He
got one
played
as well, yeah.
That was the biggest rort I've ever seen in Origin. That Billy Slater won the Wally Lewis medal in a losing series, and he played 2 games.
But that's
Deserved
because
it,
the
mate.
system's flawed.
Tedesco was completely robbed of that 18 Wally Lewis medal. It was a joke.
Yeah, but where's Tedesco now? Billy's coaching Origin.
I still can't believe
Teddy's
we didn't
just
pick
sort of-
Slater game 1.
Anyway,
Oh,
we'll move on to
another
the next question. Yeah, you go, Nick. No, all right, I'll go.
Nick.
Hainsey, they're asking Hainsey why he thinks Liam Martin has been one of the Blues' best.
He's just been good. Like his ball running, obviously the lines that he runs, like that from his first try, how he changed his angle right as he received the ball. That's something to point out, and just his defense as well. He's been that enforcer.
Didn't he run 60 meters? He must be running good. He's running good lines, but he's not going anywhere.
Still scored.
Yeah.
Still scored the first try.
Yeah, but everyone scored that game. You're telling me Olakawatu couldn't have scored that try?
He didn't though.
But that's not.
What else have we got?
Well,
I'd rather Cape off.
He's ran 60 more meters than Dave Fafita this series.
Very true. Except, buddy, what you got for feet? I don't know.
I'll be honest. Only running 60 more meters. Only running 60 more meters than a guy who isn't picked isn't good enough for me.
But the fact you still didn't pick him.
Honestly, it's a fucking joke that Fafita's not picked.
Game 1 he was 69 meters or something.
I got a question for everyone. Who's been the most underwhelming player this series? For me, Harry Grant.
It's a good shout.
Especially off the bench.
Yeah,
I feel like Hunt's been way more influential.
Look, yeah, Ben Hunt was
and
good in
I
game
sort of
1.
expected it based off Grant's top form as well.
I'm going to say Pat Carrigan.
Ooh.
I think.
I feel like he's been solid.
Hasn't been up to
you must be holding him to high
year.
standards.
Yeah, exactly right.
That standard, though, well, is always going to be underwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Harry Grant. I'd probably, I think I'm leaning towards Harry Grant. I
feel like he looks injured.
What about Walsh?
Well, he
has been. Oh, look, I would do.
It's hard on Reece Walsh because he gets knocked out in 7 minutes and then game 2.
So it was on the back foot most of the game.
After he's only played 1 game, basically.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Walsh, but there's a thought there.
Not many fullbacks could have played well in game 2 there off that start.
Tedesco would have.
Who for you, Wobbling?
I agree with Harry Grant, actually, mate. I really do. I think that's a really good shout. I wanted to ask Hainsey, actually, man, what has he made of Reece Robson's couple of games, man? Like, I guess he's been good, solid without being great.
He's just done his job. That's what we've needed. We just needed good service out of dummy half, and that's what he's done. Played some good minutes. You know, he's made some good tackles as well. He's just been just looking for work in the middle, which has been really helpful for us. You know, and
I feel like
Abby Coruscant's obviously a stylish hooker, and he's definitely up there as one of the best in the game. But Reece Robson just comes in and does his job, and you see that and obviously Sam, you'd know that more than anyone with his time at the Cowboys. So yeah, he just looks for work, does his job, and just that solid.
I agree, Hainsey. I feel like hookers sometimes. I feel like Cook did it a bit in his last few games for New South Wales, trying to overplay his hand. Sometimes the halves just need some good service. I feel like Grant might have been doing that this year as well, trying to play something that isn't there in front of him.
Yeah.
But Hunt's been doing it well,
Yeah.
so.
What are we
Hopefully
thinking,
get
boys?
to-
Are you saying,
what are
Sam?
we? No. What are we thinking?
No, I was just going to say quickly, just before we get to that, is on the Dearden chat, obviously we went to the questions. I wanted to propose something here. This might ruffle Hainsey's feathers here, obviously, with this man's eligibility. But with the current form of one Jaden Campbell, does he potentially next year, if he keeps this form up, play Origin for the Maroons?
No
Nah.
chance.
Nah.
With the
We got
way he's
Munster.
playing at the moment?
But you got
He's been-
Munster returning, and well, I'll put you this question then: is this Cherry Evans' last game?
I think
Win
it
or
could
lose?
be, yes. I've
Win or
heard
lose?
reports.
Win or
Why?
lose,
He's
this
got
is his
another
last
2
game.
years. I reckon
No,
DC's
Yeah,
Yeah, he
got
plays
another
next
2
year
years.
easily.
Yeah,
I
I think he
reckon
plays
it,
next year.
I reckon this is
DCE
it.
doesn't seem like the person who's like tired of playing anything. Like,
Can New South Wales people stop pretending that DCE hasn't outdone Cleary for like 2022?
No,
Kicks
there's
better
no
than Cleary.
denying it. There's no denying it. And
does anyone
it's
say that?
pretty
for New South
funny.
Wales?
It's pretty funny because he's actually pretty good in Origin, and yet can't do anything for Manly, which is Manly fans get the shits for.
Watch out! Oh, watch out!
Oh,
Roosters versus Manly in a couple of weeks, Hainsey.
Yeah, next
Wow.
Saturday, we'll pump them.
Oh,
They
Love the
can't win at
confidence,
Allianz.
Hazy.
They can't win at Allianz.
I've never played at Allianz.
Yeah, they have. Oh, not the new one.
Not
Not the new one.
Premiership the start of the season.
What's
I'm
that?
a smart man. I tipped Roosters to win the premiership.
Oh,
Yeah,
you did.
you are.
You
smart,
did
mate.
not.
I did.
You
It's on the
did.
All Out post.
Oh,
Oh.
dear.
I don't. Yeah, that's a fair.
I
pick.
got on
can
at
see that.
9:50 when they lost to like Penrith in Melbourne in like in 2 straight weeks. I was like, no, we'll still win the comp. But still a long way to go. Still long.
Can I actually ask a question out of the ordinary? Are we've seen, let's say, South Sydney go down to the Dolphins this past weekend, and we saw Newcastle go down to Manly and all that jazz. Are we still okay with mid-season state of origin, or do we want the comp to shut down? Like, since we're in the middle of it, since it's so fresh on our minds, I want to see the comp shut down for 3 or 4 weeks.
I see. This is how I do it. Now, I don't know if you guys watch European soccer or anything like that. You guys?
Oh, of course.
So you know how they have the international break, where they have that that week off where they do their international duties. Why can't we do that? So just say last week we would have had like an Origin break or representative break, where that week only you have Origin. So Origin on the next Wednesday, obviously the midweek game. Then you have your international games like Samoa v Tonga, New Zealand v whoever.
Yep.
And then like have it as the representative break where the teams still have to. It's hard to work around the draw though because obviously because we're gonna have 3 buys with through 17 teams and that helps the NRL make the draw to have the teams lined to have those 3 buys by the end of the 27 rounds. They still play the 24 games, but I honestly I think wait until we have the 18th team. And then do it. Have the international break that week before Origin. Do the representative rounds, Origin, and then that's your 3 buys for the week that year. Every team gets the 2 points.
I used to have this idea where when it was a 16-team comp, where you would either play 15 rounds, right? Then you would have a 3-week break, and then the following schedule wouldn't be planned until there's you would make the competition based on the competition ladder. You would make the remaining rounds an even fixture, so that if you're coming first, you might be in the same grouping as a, 3rd-ranked team, a 5th-ranked team, whatever. So that because I feel like the draw even as a whole is pretty unfair for some teams at the moment, let alone Origin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously like the Broncos this year have just been. With Walsh, he played his first game in 6 weeks last week for the Broncos. So I really feel like we need to do something where it's just. I don't like Origin on a Sunday though. I like having it on a Wednesday. So I think we've tried. Yeah, you go, Clancy.
Yeah, what you could do is you could have it on a Wednesday, a Sunday, then the following Wednesday. Get it all done.
Well, that's how
within
they
3
used to
weeks.
do it. That second game was on the Sunday.
I didn't like it. I didn't like the
Not
game
really.
being
No,
on a
it didn't
Sunday.
feel the same, eh?
No.
It's always good though. Wednesday, you're halfway through the week. You get home,
Yeah.
the Origin. Come home from work after a tough day, and you're into Origin.
Yeah.
I like it on Wednesday.
Thursday's off.
Yeah, what are you saying, Sam?
No, I was just going to say as well that the NRL have been pretty lucky, unless if you guys might have a lightning bolt of a memory, but like they've been lucky that, let's say, for example, the Sharks are on Friday night versus the Tigers. Like they're lucky that we haven't seen a Sharks versus Brisbane Broncos game in this Origin period. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like the Broncos could say one day, hey, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players out up against the Cronulla Sharks who were completely full strength. It doesn't matter if we get 2 points from the bye. We were dudded. We were utterly dudded. And yes, it could be a fantastic victory for the baby Broncos if it was to ever come. It would be great for morale. But like, I seriously think we're getting to a stage where we need to take a little bit more care of the actual NRL competition.
There's been so many injuries, Sam.
Well,
So many, and I'd be going 3 Wednesdays in a row, but also another week for that week-long preparation. You have your international games in the month of June. You promote New South Wales and Queensland Cup throughout the month of June, and you put those games on Channel 9 Friday Night Footy and all that other gear. So yeah, I whilst I like Origin, I don't love it. I don't love it, to be honest with you, and that's one of the main reasons why, because injuries, in particular the past 2 to 3 years, have utterly buggered it for a couple of teams.
Well, in saying that though, if it wasn't for that Origin period, the Cowboys don't have that famous win over us at the start of the Origin period. Like, and in saying that though, I get where everyone's coming from this like, I get where this comes from. I want the competition, all that, but in saying that though, it's a great opportunity for these young kids to come through and play first grade, get the taste of first grade. Like in that game against the Cowboys had a few debutants. The Roosters debuted Blake Steep, who come from the Roosters Academy. Ethan King debuted last week for the Roosters, so week before. So it's a great opportunity for these youngsters to get that crack at first grade. Yeah, as from the people who are going to disrespect like a casual view of the game, you get to see, this is like a boring 58-6 flogging and rah. But and there's still kids for opportunities to make their first grade debut, which is always great to see.
Definitely a big positive.
But Hainsey, the comp isn't about people making their debut. Like,
true.
You'd much rather want integrity of competition than you would people having debuts.
There's still a silver lining to the Origin period.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you're both right. Hainsey, just got a bomb. Joey Manu may be set to return this week.
Oh, I just saw the photos. He was training with the main squad this week. That is huge. Suleeti's back too, so if we can get Manu back, it's going to be massive, especially against Melbourne.
There is a question here. This could be something just to segue straight into it. Hainsey, someone was asking, can you give me a tip for the Punters Club? Maybe that the Roosters it.
Tip for the Punters Club.
Rabbits to win, Roosters to lose.
That's rubbish. That's rubbish. I actually prefer having Souths in the bottom 4, thank you. So, let's sing. Let me have a look around.
You have a little. Do you know who's reffing that game, Hainsey?
Sorry.
Do you know who's reffing that game?
No. Which one?
This Roosters game you're talking about.
I would not be surprised if Ashley Klein gets the bloody contract. Don't mention his name. I cannot stand Ashley Klein, man.
Jump off the street, got to drop off the kids, if you know what I mean.
Oh, dear.
Thanks for having me.
All right, mate. That's all right. We're about to wrap up anyway.
I enjoyed dinner.
What do you, Mick, before you go, while Hainsey thinks of a tip, give us your tip. What are you thinking for Wednesday night,
Go
mate?
Capel, first try scorer. Thanks for having me.
Oh, there you go.
I'll go. I've got one for you. I've got the Dolphins to beat Penrith.
The Dolphins to beat Penrith.
There's so many variables.
Penrith will rest their Origin stars.
Yeah, that is not a bad shout. So JMC
I'll get on it
photos.
now, $4.30. Because come Tuesday, 4 o'clock, when the team gets named and you got like Penrith players that are not named, for example, they're going to go from like 4.30 to like favourites. So,
and that's what I'm talking about with the integrity of the competition, man.
Yeah, but we get to see these upsets. Like, who would have thought like a couple of weeks ago we saw the Dragons beat the Panthers? Or
like throughout history, in a few years, man, like in history, they'll read it and like go, whoa, oh my God, Dolphins defeated Penrith. Like that must have been an incredible game. But Penrith were operating
every year the Cowboys
quarter straight
Penrith during the Origin series. The Cowboys always beat the Panthers because they had the Origin.
Yeah, and I feel sorry. I feel sorry.
No. The Cowboys haven't got the most people out of any team in the comp, mate. Penrith should be happy they're versus us.
Wait a minute. Yo, thank you, Clancy. That Golden Point game last year, both teams were Origin affected.
But still, you know.
I feel sorry for Penrith, though, mate. The integrity's lost.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Hainsey, you just because you got all Kiwis in your team that you pulled from bloody Politis' handbag.
Look, honestly, the best thing that's ever happened to us this year was Tedesco not playing Origin. That's helped us big time.
Yeah, he's been a terrific.
He's coming out back into the season fresh. He hasn't worried about Origin. Look out for Tedesco in the back end of the. He's probably going to be the sniff to win the Dally M, and that's not me being Roosters biased. I think every week he's polling points. It's going to be out of Jerome Hughes, Dylan Edwards, and Tedesco. Edwards has been missing during Origin. Jerome Hughes, obviously the favourite, and Tedesco's been bagging points, so I wouldn't be surprised if Tedesco's up there come the end of the season.
Sam Walker might have been taking a few points off Tedesco.
True, but
which could be an issue.
Tedesco's still been more.
He's definitely in the conversation.
Yeah, he's definitely in the conversation.
More favourable to get points would be Tedesco over Sam Walker. And don't get me wrong, better Sam Walker is better Sam Walker. So, but
I just think, the Dally M system's just as flawed as the season.
It's hard though because the sides like the Roosters, Penrith, and Melbourne, they take points off each other. There's no standout kind of thing. Like you look at last year, like with Ponga and Sean Johnson going for the Dally M. Like they're the only standout in the team. Like then obviously the year before Nico Hines, like no one's going to take points off Nico Hines for the Sharks. So, but when you get these big teams that they take points off each other.
Yeah, it's like all the teams with the biggest salary caps take points off one another, kind of thing.
Hey, show the evidence. Thank you.
All right, let's what you call it, push towards the end here, lads. Quickly, just Aussie Frost is saying hello, Aussie Frost. Look, let's get some stats, Sam. I know you love a few stats. Let's go with some stats.
Oh, I love a good stat, a good cold hard stat. No, I've got one.
Go for it, man, and then we'll do our predictions.
Just the one. In regards to Valentine Holmes, man, Holmes' record since he made his debut at Suncorp Stadium, or his Suncorp Stadium debut in 2017 of Game 3, he's played 6 games in total at Suncorp Stadium. His record is 5-1. He has been the first try scorer on 5 of those 6 occasions. He has scored 9 tries in total, 14 goals. Valentine Holmes, mate, you're going straight in to me multi because he's also $10 to be the first try scorer on Sportsbet. So
wow, really good odds.
I'm going Val.
What about the Hammer, mate? The Hammer scored 9 tries in 6 Origin games and has scored at least,
I said multi. I said multi.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm just saying. I'm giving another one here, mate. He scored at least 1 try in all of his games for the Maroons, the Hammer. So I don't know what he's paying for anytime try scorer, but it looking like a lock on those sort of stats. And then also just on the after the Maroons have claimed Game 1 in Sydney, they've gone on to win 7 series and lose only 1. So that's also something to take into play. You got anything more, Matt?
Yeah, and just over the past 10 years, there have been 13 games played in the space of a decade at Suncorp Stadium, whether it be game 1, 2, or 3. 13 games. New South Wales have only won 3 games out of the possible 13 matches played over the past 10 years. This Wednesday being game number 14.
I think it was 2005, wasn't it, boys, that the Blues won a decider at Brisbane?
It's been that long, yes.
Yeah.
Records are due to be broken, that's all I'm saying.
They are.
Very fair. Yeah. And let's just segue straight in, Hainsey. You lead us off, mate. What's your final prediction, mate?
I'm going to go to Blues, obviously. I'm going to go 20-12. Really tight game. First try scorer. Oh, bloody hell. I'm leaning towards... I'm going to go towards Cameron Murray, first try scorer. Anytime.
Okay, yep.
He's obviously a lock in Origin at the moment. I'm going to go both Hammer and Zach Lomax to score anytime. My man of the match will be Mitchell Moses, and the man of the series, bit of a roughie, but I'm going to go with Angus Crichton.
He's been very good. What are you about, you, Clancy? You can go next, mate. You go, Hansy.
Last time a Roosters player won the Wally Lewis medal, they won the premiership that year. James Tedesco at 19.
There you go.
Don't say that.
So, Lindsay, I know Gussie watches my content, so Gussie, if you're watching, please get the Wally Lewis medal, or even you, Lindsay. So if that happens, we win the comp. So stars aligning.
Very fair. What do you got, Clance?
First try scorer, Kurt Capewell. And I've gone Queensland 20-18, and then I am preying on the downfall of Mitch Moses, hoping he has a shit game and misses a few goals. Little Donald Trump set.
Tell you what
about you go, Hainsey?
Mitchell Moses gets the job done. Do we see Nathan Cleary back at the Origin level? Because how can you drop Luai and Moses after?
Yeah, you do. You do. It is very dependent on Jerome Luai's form at the start of next year, though. I think Cleary would probably.
Yeah, I didn't think that is at the Tigers next year. But like, big ambush comes up to Suncorp, saves the series. Like, you can't drop it the next year.
No.
But getting a little bit ahead of it, but still a job to be done on Wednesday.
Clance, who's your man of the match and player of the series, mate?
Carrigan.
Both, or?
I'm picking Carrigan man of the match. I think. I'm really not sold on player of the series yet. It might be Hammer or Carrigan, yeah. And I got Carrigan man of the match.
Sam?
I'm going to go a scoreline of 24-18 for the Maroons. I'm going to go Valentine Holmes as the first try scorer. I'm also going to stick in Hammer and Brian To'o as anytime try scorers. For man of the match, I will go Ruben Cotter, and for player of the series, I just feel like maybe if Queensland win, I feel like it'll go to Hammer, as Clancy said. But I feel like even if Queensland win, it's going to go to a Blues player. I feel like so. If I had to choose a Blues player, I've got a sniff. I've got a sniff about, as Hainsey said, about Angus Crichton or maybe Jerome Luai, maybe as player of the series.
Yeah, I'll give you something out here. Some odds they found out today. Daly Cherry Evans is paying $2.30 to win the Wally Lewis medal.
Could have been a bit bigger.
He's the shortest. On the back of that, Sam.
Yeah, he was very good in game 1.
Jerome Luai's paying $21, and Angus Crichton's paying $9.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm starting to think like what game two, Cherry Evans.
Well, Cherry Evans
in the
Cherry
second
Evans
half,
was
he
man of
was
the
a
match
bit
in game
good.
1.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then game 2, I'm pretty sure if my memory serves me right, he was one who set up most of our tries in game 2.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I think it's going to
Yeah.
be Cherry Evans if Queensland win.
Yeah, that's what my take was that I had Cherry Evans winning man of the series. I had Hammer as player of the match, and I had the same scoreline as Clancy. I think it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be 20-18 to the Maroons. But look, as Sam said, the Blues, like, yeah. Oh man, like obviously even like players like Zach Lomax has had a great series as well on debut for the Blues.
Be
Like
very hard to see a winger win it though.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I'd probably lean with both of you what you said. If a Blues player was to win it, I think Angus Crichton's been very, very good for the Blues. But no, any
Hainsey,
final
there's,
takes? Oh, you go, Clance. I was just gonna.
I'll just say, Hainsey, how confident are you that the Blues are going to win?
Not as confident as I was in Melbourne, but because obviously there's no denying that I've seen this script before. We go up the Suncorp full of confidence in Queensland, just beat Queensland. So I know I've seen this script before, but bit of a different team about this year with Madge. So I think lot more confident than I've been at the Suncorp game before. But obviously you still have to take the considerations at Suncorp. Queensland crowds, I've seen there, witnessed it plenty of times. I know what they're like, so ain't going to be easy. But if we play like we did in game 1, which I don't think we will, I think Queensland will play a lot 10 times better than they did. But if we come out and play like we did with that intensity and that aggression, I don't think they catch us.
Are you going, Hainsey?
I feel
I'll be there. I know.
Yeah, I'll be there. Sam and I will be there. What were you saying, Nuge?
I was just saying I feel for New South Wales supporters. I think they've gone through enough, and even if we do lose, at least there's a bit of charity going on. Hainsey?
Well, Hainsey, mate, I really do appreciate you coming on. Same with you, Sam and Clancy. Appreciate you guys coming on. I had a very enjoyable evening. I thought it was a good chat. Got through all the teams, gave our predictions, touched on a few things, obviously answered some questions. And all I can say is bring it on and may the best state win, eh?
Thanks, Dor.
Pleasure, boys. Thanks for having me on.
That's all right. See you, Hainsey. See you, Clance. See you, Sam. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. See ya.